So, welcome everybody. Thursday's back, new month. They're just flying by. Soon it'll be Christmas time, or we won't know what to do with ourselves. Welcome. You may notice that Wesley is not here. He just said he didn't want to do basics today. No, he's just kidding. He's working today, so he reckons he won't get home till about 11 o'clock. So we'll let him off. You know, it's a bit late for a normal day. Before we start, shout out to our sponsors, of course, Kyokushin World Shop. Great stuff. Always having some discounts going on as well. So keep an eye out for them little emails and them little Facebook posts to give yourself a little bit of money off. And AeroFit, great breathing device, gives you great core stability, good breathing capability, and all of that jazz. Back to me. What are we doing today? We're going to work on a variety of ways to throw some techniques. So I had a conversation with someone the other day, and he was talking about basic techniques versus fighting techniques. Should we lean? Should we do this? Should we do that? And basically, we're going to pin off of that conversation that I had to show a couple of ways to throw basic techniques that can lead on into fighting techniques if we wish. Going to concentrate probably mainly on arms, but we'll try and throw some legs in there as well for us all. If you get stuck, if you got any questions in the chat, it's down the bottom. You know the deal. I don't think there's anything else to be going on with, and Wesley's not here to have a little comment, so we might as well just get started now, because I don't want to waste your time. Okay, a little warm up by me, and then we'll go back to me, and then we'll do a bit more me. So yeah, it's all me today, I'm afraid. Sorry, guys. Right, let's get started. Cool. Right, right arm forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, shish, ach, ki, ju, and backwards. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, shish, ach, ki, ju, left arm. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, shish, ach, ki, ju, and backwards. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, shish, ach, ki, ju, forward and back. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, shish, ach, ki, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, shish, ach, ki, ju. One forward and one back. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, shish, ach, ki, ju. And on the other way. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, shish, ach, ki, ju. This time we're going to be slightly higher with the arms. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go. Ready? Ich, ni, san, shi. 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 2 more. Ich, ni, san, shi. Last one. Ni, san, shi. Up, back. Okay. Up this way, back this way. 2 up and 2 back. Okay, ready? Ich, ni, san, shi. 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 2 more. Ni, san, shi. Ich, ni, san, shi. Good, 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 good. Rotate the hips. Ich, ni, san, shi. Go, ruk, shish, ach, ki, ju. On the other way. Ich, ni, san, shi. Go, ruk, shish, ach, ki, ju. Push forward 2, and then elbows down to the ground for 2. Okay, so ready? Ich, ni, san, shi. Ich, ni, san, shi. Ich, ni, san, shi. ich, ni, san, shi, ich, ni, san, shi, ich, ni, two more, san, shi, ich, ni, san, shi, last one, ni, san, shi, good. So just going to be kicking back to the buttocks, nice and easy, alternate legs, okay, so right leg, left leg, 20, ready, ich, ni, san, shi, gu, ruk, shish, ach, ju, ich, ni, san, shi, gu, ruk, shish, ach, ju, good. So this time we're going to be coming to the side, not actually want the knee to come up to the side as well, not just flick the hip around. Okay, so bring the knee up and almost like the start of a Yoko Diage type thing. So we're keeping nice flat. Okay, 10 on the right, 10 on the left. Ready? Ich, ni, san, shi, gu, ruk, ish, ach, ju, ante, ich, ni, san, shi, gu, ruk, ish, ach, ju, good, and forward, ich, ni, right leg only, san, shi, gu, ruk, ish, ach, ju, left leg, ich, ni, san, shi, gu, ruk, ish, ach, ju, good, and rotate again, ich, ni, san, on the other way, ich, ni, san. Right, I'm going to start off with some planks. And the reason why we're starting off with some planks because it will play nicely into the variety of things that I want to do. Okay, so they're going to do a couple of types of planks. I'm going to put a timer on so that we can just hold the position. Okay, so we're not doing a plank on the elbows. We're doing a plank on full arms. So effectively, we're going to be in a push-up position. The first set, nice and easy, straight planks, equal weight, square, etc. When you're doing it, obviously we're keeping a nice straight back, not a sag, not a mountain in that position. Okay, not going to be doing it for long because I don't want to waste too much time on planks. I just want to get the basis in there for us all. So we are going to do a plank for 20 seconds only. Okay, nice and square, as if you're doing a punch. So it's going to be directly under your shoulders, maybe a little bit lower. Solar plexus technically is lower than our shoulders, but no higher than the shoulders. At minimum shoulder, if anything, a little bit below. Okay, ready? Body straight and hold. Itch. And time. Okay, so the next one, we're going to be on a single arm. Okay, and we've got to do one on the right and one on the left. And we've got two versions at a minimum that we're doing. Okay, so the first version we're going to do, I'll show it from the front and then I'll show it from the side. The first version we're going to do is we're going to look to just angle open a little bit. Okay, so obviously we can stay square, but it's a lot harder because we've got the weight there and we've just done square now. So don't want to waste too much time on that. So one arm, open the angle ever so slightly, not all the way open like this. So I don't want us being here. I just want us being here. Take the weight and we've got a slight angle. Okay, slight angle. Again, 20 seconds on the right, straight in, 20 seconds on the left. Okay, ready? Body straight and angle. And change the arms. Hopefully we're warming up. And relax. Good. The next one's probably going to be a little bit harder for everyone. So what we're doing is we're looking at having a decline. Yeah. So we're going to be here and we're actually going to dip the shoulder without the arm off the ground down lower. So obviously we started off square. Then we had a pitch where we leaned most of the weight down into the arm. Now we're going to have an adverse one. So if I go this way, we were here, and now we're looking to be here. So we get the shoulder lower down below the other one. Okay, same thing, 20 on the right arm, 20 on the left arm, and then we're job's done. We could stay square in this position, but I think we know we've already done that with 2 arms. Okay, ready, body straight, and let's go. So dip that shoulder down. And change. Dip the shoulder down. Hold your arm wherever you like, it doesn't really matter. Just as long as this shoulder is lower than the other side. 5 seconds left. And time. Good, good. Right, up you get. So, reason behind those is the way we're going to deliver 3 types of punches. Okay, so when we stand in basics, most of the time we're very square here, and to be truly square is an exaggeration, right? Because we don't just punch like this. There is some movement, of course, although it be very minimal. Not much happens from here downwards, apart from a very slight movement like this. Okay, so when we deliver a punch, we might have a slight rotation, and it depends how we punch. So this is what we're going to go through. So there's normally kind of 3 types of punches that people deliver. Version 1 is when we lead with the arm, and then we hit the hip in at a later stage. Yeah, so we go, and then we're here, and then we bite that hip in at the later stage. Version 2 is we do the opposite. We lead with the hip, and then we do the technique. So we push the hip, and then we drive the technique out. Version 3 is a hybrid. It kind of meets in the middle of that, where we are firing the arm and the hip at the same time, and then there's like a cut version at the end. So version 1 and 3, almost we push the hip forward. Version 3 is like it goes forward and then cuts back almost. So, which gives us the nice basic version as we probably know it. And sometimes maybe people don't even notice that they're doing one of them 3 types of techniques, because we go like this, out, here, we commit the hip, and then we do the punch, or we have a hybrid that meets in between. So we have kind of the hip that goes forward, but then bites back at the same time. So we're going to work on these 3 techniques. And I'm not saying that any of them are right or wrong. They're just different. I have my preference, of course I do. And I'm going to try and show you that you can actually use all 3 of these versions in multiple techniques and multiple ways. And then hopefully we get some time to go through with some kicks as well. Does it make sense what I've said so far, though? Because I might be talking gibberish to a load of you, but hopefully it makes sense. So we're going to start off nice and slowly, and we're going to do version 1. So what I want us to do, and this version tends to be maybe a little bit quicker because we lead with the arm, okay? We lead with the arm, and then we add the hip in later. So there's less tension per se on this one. And normally it's a faster outset with the technique that drive out and then the hip pushes the last bit. We drive, trying to do it correctly. We drive out and then that hip pushes at the last minute. We come out, no movement, and then we do this. And it's probably going to be fairly difficult if you don't do this naturally. I don't do this naturally, so it's probably going to be a little bit alien for me as well. We're going to do it slowly first. Yeah, so I want us to concentrate on the arm and then the push. The arm and then the push. Okay, let's work on doing 20 of these nice and slowly. And what I want to feel is that when you do that push at the end, it has to be kind of in time with the end of the punch. Otherwise, it's useless, right? If you do it halfway and then there's nothing else at the end of your technique, you're not really gaining anything from it. Yeah, if you're driving through at the end point, then you can kind of understand that. Yep, all good. 20 reasonably slow ones. Okay, let's go into a hegadachi. So from fudadachi, right? And we're already in a hegadachi, both feet pointing straight forward, Fraz, for you. Okay, so both of your feet should be parallel, pointing straight forward. Okay, so left hand out. Remember, don't worry about the tension or anything at the moment. Still have a firm fist. We're looking at making sure that we push the arm, and then we push that last minute with the hip. Okay, so let's go. Ready? Ich, one, push. Ni, one, push. San, shi, gu, ruk, ish, ach, kid, ju. A little bit quicker. Ich, ni, san, shi, gu, ruk, ish, ach, kid, ju, and relax. Okay, let's try and do a couple of them really quickly. And remember, you have to, and I'm going to be one of these people. You have to be aware that we're not releasing this hip until later on in the technique. Yeah. Whereas I'm going to want to probably fire it off. I tend to fire off and cut back. All my basic techniques tend to go that way. So for me, that way is natural. This way is not natural for me. So I'm really going to have to concentrate on making sure that I get that bite at the end with the movement on the basic technique. Just 10, try and explode into them techniques and be strict with yourself. If you're not doing it correctly, tell yourself off, okay? Because I can't see all of you. So, hegadachi still, both feet going forward, arms out, okay? So we're firing the hand first, and then we're doing the hip movement after that. Yep. Ready? Let's go. Shudan, remember, solar effects. Ich, ni, san, shi, gu, ruk, ich, hit, ji. Okay, now Ray, and what you'll probably notice with this version is that you end up with a slight over rotation because you lead the hip in the direction of the punch. As long as it's not too much of an over rotation with basics, it's okay, but you probably find that you have more of a definite hit going forward rather than a square cut on the technique. Okay, again, not right, not wrong. You may feel that your technique goes forward more. Maybe you feel that maybe the backwards arm is not as good. Yeah, right. So let's go to the second version now, and we're gonna try and roll this into other forms as well. So the second version is we push the hip first, and then we drive the punch. We push the hip first, and then we drive the punch. And people probably find this a lot easier than maybe the first version, because what we're thinking about is driving that hip forward and then the power. And then what we probably feel like is that there is, you can imagine that boards would be there when you break like this. Yeah, because we push forward the weight, bang, and then we really drive through with the weight here. And we really get a nice return pullback on this version because we're here. And then as we do the technique, we get nice solid traction going out and reasonable coming back. Again, we're going to do this slowly. So when you're there in the hikadachi, think about pushing the hip first and then driving. So we push the hip first and then we rotate from the core out each time like so. Okay, all good with that? Know where we're going. This one's probably a little bit easier to be fair than the others. Right, hikadachi, we're already in. Left arm out. 20, nice and reasonable slow. First 10 is fairly slow. Second 10, we're going to speed up a little bit. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A little bit quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And relax before we try and do 10 nice and fast. So with this one, you probably feel like your stance is a little bit deeper. You probably feel more in tone with the ground. The first one, you probably feel a little bit lighter, and then we're trying to get a little bit more speed. The second one, we're probably trying to sit down because we can feel that this hip is doing a lot of the work early doors. And to get that, we need to push off of the ground, really. This one, we got a lot of speed and then a snap at the end. A lot of speed and then a snap at the end. This one, we almost push in and whipping this arm after the hip's committed. So 10, nice good ones, nice and fast. Remember, commit the hip first and then really drive that punch out. Think of the boards. This one would be great for that kind of enthusiasm to go through the board. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and now relax. And again, like with the first one, you probably feel that once this hit's committed and this punch has gone out, we clearly have a bit more of a forward momentum. And I'd say that a lot of Japanese people tend to have more of this style of punch than probably most of the Europeans and maybe the other organizations as well, the IKO 1s, IKO 2s, kind of them kind of worlds, because they're Japanese figureheads. All the Westerners that have non-Japanese figureheads, they probably don't deliver it as much in this fashion. Version 3, okay? So as we're kind of going out, we do get this initial pinch going out, but then we lock it back nicely at the end. I say nicely, it's because the way I do it, so I like this way, not because the other ways are bad. So we are pushing out at the same time that this hand goes. We're not leading with the hip and then delaying. We're trying to lead out and then we cut back nice and square. So the difference in the end position with this is that we kind of push out, lock back square. We push out at the same time lock back square. And what that does is it enables a few things, not an over rotation, not an over leaning techniques. And again, it's not a right or a wrong way, it's a preference way. For me, there has to be a clear cut on a basic technique, which means there's a focus point, not driving it forward and my arm stops because it doesn't go any longer. That's what I mean by that. On this version, I'm actually controlling it with multiple areas, not just the length of my arm, which sometimes can lead in the other versions. And I'm kind of leaning towards my favorite, of course, but you know, I'm not saying that the other versions are bad. So on this one, we're looking to lead at the same time that this happens, and then we cut back at the end. So our hips almost do this. Lead cut, lead cut, lead cut. And it's very, very difficult if you don't do it naturally, but you will feel that there's a distinct cut on the end of the technique a little bit better, in my opinion, Okay, so Hikadachi again, left arm out. And I want you to push and then cut, push and then cut, push and then cut. You may feel your stomach working differently in each one of them types of techniques that we throw. Okay, hopefully you do, unless you have like either incredible or terrible stomach muscles. one of the two. Okay, left hand up. 20 nice and slow. 10 really slow, 10 reasonably quick, and then we'll do 10 like we have with all the other versions. Okay, so ready? Let's go. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, ish, ach, ki, ji. A little bit quicker. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, ish, ach, ki, ji. And relax. Just relax before we do 10 super good ones. Okay, again, like the others, if you're not used to it, it'll be really difficult to do it really quickly. So you have to do the slow versions, get used to it, and then build and build and build on that. Okay, so back into Hikadachi, left arm out, 10 really solid ones. Let's try and bang these out. Last set of the variety of just chudan punches. Okay, bend on your legs like in all the other stances. Ready? Left arm out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, ish, hit, chi. And now ready. Just straight loose. Let's have a quick drink. Try and digest what we've just spoke about and done. Hopefully it makes sense. Normally there's 3 types. We lead with the arm first, we lead with the hip first, or we have a hybrid where we have a reasonable balance and a reasonable control at the end. Each punch has its good and bad points. You know, the good point on the first one is it's going to be nice and fast, and we're definitely going to have our weight going forward. The second one that we did, if we commit the hip first, if we connect, 100% you're going to have lots of power going into that because it's a thrust and drive through. The problem with that is if the opponent moves close to you and you've overcommitted the hip, how do we make that punch work? And hopefully we'll cover that a little bit later on. The third one, there is a danger that, of course, we have to have really good focus on that because we are cutting the technique. Yeah, we are forcing that stop at a specific location. Now, if that specific location happens to fall short of the target, unlike the other ones that have a clear thrust and drive through, then you may not get as much money out of it. But if you time it and position it and place it well, the impact is not so much of a drive, but a boom into the body, if that makes sense. That's what I have found, at least. And people are different. They deliver punches in a different way. We have a different power set and all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so just before we move on them techniques, and hopefully we can do a couple of other techniques like that and maybe a few techniques, I'm going to show you the different types that we could adopt them in fighting. Okay, so when we are, and we will do this, don't worry, we're using the arm first and then the thrust afterwards. Okay, so we might be using like a lead off with an oitski, yeah, and we're looking for maybe a quick, and you could say that boxers maybe use this in terms of their jabs, yeah, they don't want to commit too much of their body because they don't want the punch to be seen coming, but definitely at the end of the technique we can definitely see that that's got some power to it. So when we're in the stance, we want to think about moving the arm before we move any of the body, yeah. And a really good instructor in Japan, Mashiro Kenako, he's the head of Kenbukai. He actually relates this when he teaches. He says, I want you to start your arm movement before you start your leg movement. And that's the way that he teaches basics in position. So when he's here, he teaches you to start the arm before you move the legs. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, well, why does he do that? Because he's trying to make you think about fast feet movement. Because obviously the arm is a shorter movement than the leg, right? So if we move too slow, you're going to be landing a lot later than when we do the punch. So his mindset, he says that this is going to be quick and you need to make sure that you're very, very quick with the stance. And in turn, they do a narrower Zenkutsu dachi than what probably the rest of the world do, so that he's able to drive in quickly with that technique. And again, I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, it's different and it can be effective. So we're going to be there, we're going to try and think about this arm going out, and it's going to move before we move any of our body or our legs. So we're going to be there, and then we're going to making sure that we're there, not moving at the same time, not stepping first and then driving the technique in, which will be the second one, funnily enough. But we're looking to make sure that we are moving the arm first. We're trying to be quick. We're trying to catch the person quick, and not necessarily going to have as much power and oomph as the second version. Yeah? So let's go forward into a fighting stance. Left leg forward. Kamadachi. Left leg forward. Okay. Good, good. Remember, with this one, try to relax, because you're going to want to be quick. I wanted to move my hip already. We're going to want to be nice and quick, nice and relaxed, and then move the arm and then the body. You probably feel there's a bit of a whip, a nice, real crispness on the technique, but maybe, and this is just me, maybe you're not feeling a great amount of penetration into the target. Okay, so nice and relaxed. 1, 2, 10 on the right, 10 on the left arm, 10 on the right arm, then we'll move on to the next one. And we'll see if we can mix them about a little bit before we go back to actually some basics. Okay, I'll just vary on the time. So, nice and relaxed, left leg forward, left arm punch. Ready? Try to concentrate. 8, 2, 3, 4, It's such a habit, I want to go at a different time. Change legs, right arm, yeah, same thing. Try and lead that arm and then the bite in with the technique at the end after we've moved those hips, legs, whatever it is we're using. Okay, let's go. Ready? 8, 2, 3, 4, go. 8, 8, 9, change legs. Right. So this time we're going to use the Stasky because it works quite well with the second version. Yeah. We want to commit the hip and we really want to whip that Stasky in after. Yeah. So from the side, you're going to come here. Lots of power driving that technique forward. So you're probably going to start committing the hip, the elbow and the shoulder is going to be behind. And it's going to get lots of power and rotation through that. So we're going to be going this way. Of course, we can do an Oitski. I just find that people tend to over-rotate this way here, whereas this fits quite nicely in position. Again, this one's a little bit easier to manage for those that are struggling on the first one, like me. Okay, left leg forward, Staskis, yeah? Making sure that the power is going forward. Really get that hip through. So a nice over rotate, power deeply going into that body. Okay, let's go. Ready? Out. 2, 3, 4, go. Right. Push. Push. Hit. 2, and change your legs. Right leg forward, exactly the same. Ready? 8, 2, 3, 4, go. Right. 8, 8, 10, 2, good. Right. Last technique we're going to do is Gyaku. Yeah, we're going to try and stop. We're going to lead this technique out, and then we're going to stop as we hit. So this one's actually quite good because we've got a retraction on the Gyaku that's going to come back. Okay, same thing, 10 on the right, 10 on the left, lead out at the same time. Don't over exaggerate, don't over lean. Yeah, hit that element of control, that element of retraction. Okay, let's go. Ready? 8, 2, 3, 4, go. Right. 8, 8, 10, 2, and change legs. Same thing. Yeah. 8, 2, 3, 4, go. Right. 8, 8, 10, 2, and relax. Now ready. Quick drink. Be back in a second. We're doing for time. Normally I get a little opportunity to look at the time as I'm switching with Wesley today. Really quickly before we move on this, let's try and think about joining them together. And it's a lot easier than what you're thinking at the moment. Okay, because we can lead, we can hit, and then we've got the real power one. And that's probably the one that you most associate with. We've all seen the boxers poses and bang, and then they drop the person to the body, real crunching body shot. Yeah, this one's nice and quick, this one's nice and fast, and this one's really powerful. Yeah, and they all of them 1, 2, bang. Yeah, 1, 2, boom, in each time. So we're just going to do 5 on the left leg forward, 5 on the right leg forward. Yeah. So we try and think about the 3 different techniques. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to break it down like that. So each will be, we can clearly see 3 different styles of punching. Oitski, is the arm leads first, afterwards the gyaku. We've got the cut and control because we want to really box in that power on the last technique. Okay, fast, controlled, boom. Lots of power like Rocky Balboa. Okay, 1 count, 1, 2, 3. 2 count, 1, 2, 3. And it doesn't need to be any faster than that. I don't want you going like this because you're going to mix the type of punches up. I want us to concentrate, and myself, I want myself to concentrate on 3 different styles of punching. Okay, left leg forward, Kamadachi. Hey! Hey! Here! Good, good. So 1 count, 1, 2, 3. Yeah? And then back in position, ready to go. 5 on the left, 5 on the right. Everyone understand? See some bums? Good, excellent. A couple of bums, I see them. Let's go. Ready? 8! Knee! 3! 4! Last one. Go! And change legs. Same thing. Fast, controlled, power. Fast, controlled, power. Yeah? Just like that. Ready? 8! 2! 3! 4! Last one. Go! And Maori. So for me, I always want to bite back this last Statsky because I'm naturally thinking, what happens next? I don't often like to leave myself in this position unless I'm really, boom, doing like power on the power bag. Doesn't come natural for me to want to do that unless I know I'm doing single techniques. As soon as I start to add them together, I kind of want to mismatch the technique that we're doing. But anyways, that's the process. That's the 3 different types of techniques that we're doing. And we can do the same with the kicks, yeah? So we pick the leg up, and then we have the technique that goes through at the last minute, yeah? We've got the whip round that maybe leaves the technique going forward. And then we've got the fast, the controlled, kind of the more elegant, probably, that we see the techniques falling back. First one, in. Second one, in. Third one, we've got a nice retraction on that. And again, different types of kicks for different types of things and different types of distances. But they're all very, very valuable. Okay? Everybody understand so far? It's not a very intense session. Well, actually, I'm working a bit hard because I'm having to demonstrate loads. But hopefully you're thinking a lot about what we're doing. Let's go through Shitosukotsuuchi now. Shitosukotsuuchi in the 3 different methods. So we get a lot of people, they do really straight arm here, very quick technique, not much arm. We get loads of people that do this, and we think about the boards again. And then we have those that push and then pull and then control. Again, different types, right? So if you were doing clicker, for example, you'd want a nice fast movement with the tetsui or oroshi, maybe not the open hand, but you'd want a nice tetsui. If you were breaking wood, you'd want to commit the hip, drive through the wood, yeah? Maybe if you wanted to slice through a bottle or something like that, then you'd have the cut because it gives you that impact that will spread out, yeah? So let's go through Shitosukotsuuchi. In San Shindachi this time. Gurudachi. San Shindachi. Yo! Right leg forward. Hey! Shia! Good. So the first version is going to be pretty much faster arm technique. Not much movement until the very end on the technique. Okay, a lot of people, when they do this type of technique, they do it very straight, whereas when you maybe do this, we end up with a little bit more of an angle. And when you do what I do, I have a bit of an angle on it anyway. Remember, this way is not great for power. This way is not great for power. We need to make sure that we are getting that power going in, not chopping down this way. I know it sounds a bit ironic, but believe me, it's a big difference. Okay, so left hand out. Try to think about driving forward with this technique rather than down with the technique. And we're going to work on the same parameters. Yep, 20, nice and easy, nice and controlled. Think about the late push on the hip. 10 slow, 10 a little bit quicker, and then the next 10 we do after it will be hopefully properly. Yep. So left hand out. Stosu Kotsuchi. Let's go. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Ruk. Ich. Ach, hip, G, a little bit quicker. H, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, ish, ach, hip, G. Shooter. Okay, just relax the arms for a second. This time, try to really drive that out and forward. And I guarantee you with this, you'll end up doing a store that's more forward and more down. At least I do. So let's see if you feel the same. Okay, arm out. Let's go. Ready? Edge. Knee. San. She, go, ruk, ish, hip, G, and relax. Okay, the next version where we're gonna really let the hip go and let the technique follow. The hip go, technique follow. Okay. Same deal, just a different technique. And see if the technique actually feels different to you. I felt my store going more forward on this one. Do you feel it going forward? Do you feel it coming around? Do you feel it going down? We're all going to be a little bit different, I'm sure. Technique should be the technique, but you know, throw it in different ways, it feels different. Okay, left hand out. Ready? H. Ni. San. She, go, rip, ish, hip, G, a little bit quicker, H, ni, san, she, go, rip, ish, here, G, Shia. Okay, just relax them arms. These stance up a little bit. 10 good ones now. Yeah, really think about the blocks, the boards, whatever it is we're trying to break. This is probably the perfect scenario where we're really going to whip that hip through and drive through them boards, through the boards. Yeah. Okay. 10 good ones. Ready? Left hand out. Eight. Knee. San. She. Go. Red. Eight. Eight. Head. G. Shia. again, just relax. Third version. They're out, cut, 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 cut. Yeah. So you might feel that again, your stomach, your obliques, your lats muscles are all working in different ways with these 3 different versions that we're throwing the techniques. Some you might not feel at all. Some you might feel in a lot of areas. And then some you might feel everywhere. And that depends on you. Okay, right. Left hand out. Let's go. 20, reasonably slow. First 10 definitely. Second 10, we can build up a little bit from there. Okay, let's go. Ready? H, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, ash, ach, ke, chi. A little bit quicker. H, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, ash, ach, ke, chi, shi. Relax. 10 good ones. Try and really put them in as you did with all of the rest. Feet, there's a sweaty patch there. Left hand out. Ready? Good, solid. Cheese. And let's go. Ni, san, shi, go, red, ice, ice, head, chi, shi. And narrowing. Relax, get yourself a drink. Back with me in a little bit. Okay. So ultimately, it depends how you want to deliver your basic techniques and how you want to deliver your techniques. What does basics mean to you? For me, basics means getting from A to B as quickly and as strong as possible with the shortest movement span and absolute control at the end. That's for me. Yeah, for me. So I want to be from here to here with the minimalist movement and maximum control at the end. So I don't want to be, my preference, I don't want to be over leaning. I don't want to be over rotating. I don't want to lose focus on that technique. And I would like to explode into that position, but have that focus at the end. And I think Hanshi probably instilled that in over many decades, those that have taught with him, whereas maybe other organizations, they definitely concentrated on the power into the opponent. And again, that's nothing wrong with that, because when we all fight, we all do elements of probably all 3 of these techniques. But how you want to deliver your basic techniques will probably dictate what type of person you are. Are we looking for speed? Are we looking for lots of power? Or are we looking for minimum movement, maximum control? And again, I must emphasize this isn't a right or a wrong way. There are different ways that people teach and different ways that people do. That's fine. If it works, it works. And me and Wesley have said that many a times. If a technique is good and it works, bang, I knock the guy out. I kicked with a straight leg coming this way, but the end result was fantastic. Can you really argue with that? Probably not. Was it the most aesthetically pleasing technique in the world? Maybe not. But did it do the same job? Yes. Therefore, if it works, it works. Yeah. Let's try and do a couple of basic kicks in this manner as well. Okay. So it's a bit more difficult with kicks, but let's give it a go. And let's just stick to a Giramawashi. Yeah, a Giramawashi is probably going to be the easiest one that we can all focus and work on in this shape or form, right? So from a basic position, it's probably fairly hard to differentiate between these three kicks because there's not much movement, there's not much adjustment, and at the end of the day, everything needs to come back to here. So even if we are doing this forward technique here, it has to come back. So you could argue that all basic kicks, they all have the same movement, yeah, and very rarely do we do one or the other. So let's scrap the basic version and go straight into the fighting version, right? We're going to kick off the front leg and we're going to kick not quite that lazy, but we're going to kick and then make this nice and quick and then go down. And I actually use this version a lot when I fight, okay? Because I thrust forward and then I want to get forward, not to drop the person, but I want to get forward to make the person think, damn it, he was too quick again. And you're just annoying the person, okay? So what we're looking to do is just kick straight forward and kind of leave the leg forward a little bit longer than what maybe your ordinary stance would be, okay? Again, looking for speed. So we're not looking to commit the hip. We're looking to really drive that technique out nice and fast, and we're using the Gidan so we don't have to worry about flexibility and too much body movement, etc. Okay? Left leg forward into a fighting stance. Okay? Good, good. There, 1 and 4. Yeah? Each time. Slowly, quickly, build it up. No problem with that. Just make sure that we are a little bit leaning forward at the end of the technique. Remember, you wouldn't stay there for too long if you were fighting, but we are practicing. Yeah? Okay, let's go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, go! Right? 1, get it! 2, 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, go! Right? 1, 2, 3, good. Change legs. 10 on the other leg. Same thing. We're trying to commit that weight going forward. Remember, like we did the punch. The punch went first, and then we extended. The leg moves, then we extend. Leg moves, and then we extend the leg. Okay? Difficult, but not impossible. Yeah? Let's go. Ready? Right leg this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, go! Right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, go! Right. 1, 2, 3. So to give you a flavour, I'm here looking to drive forward, get that weight quick, then the push on the hip comes later on in the technique. Still keep that momentum going. Second version, we're gonna come round with the back leg, and we're gonna think that we're a little bit closer to the person here. So we have to push that hip through first and then whip through. So if we are here, we don't quite have the distance, come all the way here. Going to be a little bit closer. I'm going to push the leg and then lazy slam that leg around onto the person. So we could be quite close here. Bang. Bang. A few good fighters. They've done this in the past. You know, not everybody's cup of tea because they don't like being close. Or maybe you don't quite have the hip flexibility to push that hip through before we let the technique go. So Ozzy Pov, very, very famous Russian fighter, used to have his knee all the way through here, which meant his hip was all the way through here before he delivered the kick here. You know, he wouldn't have come round in a conventional way here. He would have been whipping it through like this. It's the same on the Gedan level. We're just doing Gedan level because we can get this hit through first. Slam it down on the leg. Bang. Drop the weight into the leg. Don't think about any kind of pullback. Drop the weight in. Hip goes through. Roll it through nicely. Left leg forward means the right leg is kicking first, remember. Yeah? Okay. Left leg forward. Let's go. Ready? Action! Knee. San. She. And we'll drop it down onto the leg. Go. Down onto the leg. Red. Shorter technique, remember. Action. Action. Okay. Two. Action. Knee. San. She. Go. Right. Action. Action. Head. Two. Shida. Good. Other leg. Exactly the same thing. Commit the hip. Roll it through. Drop it down onto the hip. We're not going to end up coming all the way round. We've got the hip through already. Here. Drop down onto the leg. Close. Get it up over the knee. Penetrate deep into the leg with your weight going on top of it. Okay? Left leg. Let's go. Ready? Out. Knee. San. She. Go. Right. Ice. Ice. Okay. G. Ice. Knee. San. She. Go. Right. Ice. Ice. Okay. G. Shia. Good, good. And again, as with the punches, you're probably feeling your body working different ways. Feel it maybe a little bit more on your obliques when you do this, because you're really trying to push this through whilst controlling the top half, not spinning out of control. First one, you might feel more of the control on the end of the technique to stop yourself doing this too much. Yeah. Third version, probably the most conventional for kicking, to be fair, because you probably use this version a lot more when you're doing basics. Some people, they do the second version, or sorry, the first version in basics, where they just leave that leg, weight going forward, etc. But it's, with kicks especially, we always should be thinking more about a neutral position when we do basic techniques. And for me as well with punches, but that's neither here nor there. But in kicks, most people will always think about being neutral in the position because it's a lot more harder work if you are leaning forward, leaning back, etc. Because the leg still needs to retract to where we're standing. Okay, so with this version, we're just going to bring it up to Chudan, and we're going to think boom, in and back, and in, back, not roll through, not weight going forward, but we're there, bang, in, back. Again, try to think about the shape on the body. The first one, we were probably leaning back a little bit, because we're looking at that weight pushing forward. Second one, we're probably leaning forward a little bit, because we want to drop that weight onto the person's leg. Now, we're thinking about getting back to this position, default position, as quickly as possible. So we should be more of a neutral position here. But we're not giving away too much. Ryan Nurishima, fantastic at this. Neutral position, bang, bang, bang. You know, those sort of really neat, tidy, normally small fighters, Midoris, the Ryan Nishimas of the world, they normally function on this type because these heavy kicks here, they normally come from much stronger people who don't have to worry about getting hit so much. Okay, Chudan washi off the front leg, left leg 20, right leg 20. Okay, left leg forward. Try not to deviate the weight too much. Try not to lean too much. And see how your body feels afterwards. What muscles are working? What muscles are activating the much? How does the kick feel? How does the technique feel? How does my position feel afterwards on all three of them? Not just this one, on all three of them, because we can use all of them. Okay, left leg forward, 20 kick. Ready? Out. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Right. Ash. Ash. Get. Chi. Ash. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Right. Ash. Ash. Get. Chi. Shia. And change legs. Right leg. Same thing. Remember, we're trying to get a hybrid now where we do push the hip forward, but we have to bring it back as well. Okay. Right leg forward. Ready? Shoot down. Out. Knee. Tan. Chi. Go. Right. Ash. Ash. Get. Chi. Ash. Knee. Tan. Chi. Go. Right. Ash. Ash. Get. Chi. Shia. Now, Ray, get yourself a drink. Be back. It's time. Oh, time's nearly up. Right. Time is nearly up, but let's do one more little bit because I want to. I want to, basically. So let's work on just moving a little bit in basics. Not too much, just a little bit. So we're looking at doing a punch, maybe a kick, maybe we do like 3 of each type so we can get a feel for each one of them. And then we can see where we're exposed, how our body feels on all 3 of them again, where we're exposed, how our body feels, where our power lies. Okay, and what potentially the strengths and the weaknesses are in our own techniques, not necessarily someone else's, because what I do good, Gus may not do good, but he may do something else good, and I might be a little bit weaker at that because that's what the human body is all about, right? So let's start off in a Zenku Sudachi. Okay, like I said, the first movement, we're going to try and drive the punch a little bit quicker and a little bit faster, and then the leg movement comes in towards the end. Yeah, so let's do 3 of these on the right leg, 3 of these on the left leg, then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, Maiga number I. Okay, remember, we're looking for a straight punch. We're driving through with the punch, try and get that punch nice and quick, and ideally we want the leg movement to be just as quick as well. Okay, remember the thrust comes towards the end of the technique. Okay, just 3. So Chudenski out. We can relax a little bit. You know, you don't have to be like super tense on this one because I think that that's probably not great. Okay, balls of your feet, ready, out, and then back. Knee. And back. 10. And change legs. Right leg forward. Left leg does the punch. Left leg does the move. Okay. Right arm out. Ready. Out. Knee. 10. And relax. Now ready. Let's relax. Let's get out of that motion. So next version, we're probably going to step, and then we're going to do the punch after we've stepped. Okay. So remember, we're on the second version where we commit the hip, the shoulder is back, and then we do the punch. Yeah. Step back, step, drive the punch. Step, drive the punch. Step, drive the punch. This probably is the way that we teach beginners, first of all, because it really helps them deliver the power. The first technique is like a little bit of a mismatch. It can go so wrong if you're not very used to karate. Okay, let's get ready. Left leg forward, left hand in front, step, then drive the punch in. Lots of power. Ouch! Knee. 3. Ante, lead that leg forward. Ouch! Knee. Stand. And now ready. Good. Not sure if Maria's lost connection or something, but she seems to be very still. Right. Third version. Bit of a mismatch of all 3 of them, yeah? Of all 2 of them. We're going to try and drive forward. And we're going to try to bring that together in a harmonious type of way. We're not going to step first. We're not doing the punch first. We're trying to do them at a very similar time frame. Okay? Let's see how we go. Left leg forward. Try to get that technique landing not too far away from when the leg hits the floor. Okay, ish. And I don't normally do Aidugekko this way. That's where my kind of, yeah, anyways, let's go. Ready? H! Knee! Okay, change legs. Left leg forward. Ouch! Knee. Maori. Okay. That is ultimately the end of what we're doing today. I'd like to be able to do some kicks, but as I said before, it's a little bit more difficult in basics. Let's have a little stretch, and then we'll have a little talk about it afterwards. Maybe I have a less of a stretch afterwards, and I'd be interested to hear how you feel on each version of the punches that we're doing. Okay, so have a think about it. A little tiny stretch now, and then we'll come back and we'll have a little chat. Let's go. Okay, left arm across. We did a lot of different types of punching, so let's stretch the upper body a little bit. Relax, up, over. Relax and through. Maria's not coming back, it seems. Relax on the hip and pull through. And relax the arm. Right arm across and through. Pitch. Relax, up and over. Relax and pull it back through. Onto the hip and pull forward. And relax. Okay, just a little bit on the legs. Legs just a little bit wider than shoulder width, maybe a shoulder width and a half. And bend through. Push them knees out with the elbows. Drop the buttocks through. You can spray the feet. They're not in Kibadachi position or anything like that. Straighten the legs, elbows down. Last two legs a little bit wider. Fourth position in the 4 and 1. Doesn't matter which side, we're doing both sides, so take your pick. It's a bit weird today seeing me on like full screen. It's not often that this happens. One day, other side. Last one, straighten the legs, elbows down, relax. Come up and shake loose. We're done. We're absolutely done. Okay, so let me unmute you all. Ask all to unmute. How do I? Well done. So first of all, well done, guys. Super duper stuff. How do we feel about unmuting, unpinning myself? I can't see where it is because I don't normally have to do it. Anyways, how do we feel? So just quickly, who felt that which version did you feel really good at? Which one did you feel really bad at? Could you feel the difference when you're doing the techniques? Let's have a discussion quickly.
Can I go first? Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
All right. I've actually really enjoyed this session. I think this is one of the best ones online because I think when you focus on your basics, that serves like a foundation to everything else that you learn later on. And for me, because I've done some kung fu before, the body mechanics is quite important, especially in the punches. So I definitely could relate to what you were doing today. So, but as we've done more kicks, more emphasis on kicking, I really felt that those different, different ways of doing them really helped out. So, and for me, I think the one where you combine the two is literally where you throw it and snap back just before you deliver. If
Yep.
that's
Yeah,
I
I know.
really,
Effectively the third method.
I really think that is for me is the best. I really like that one.
Okay.
And as I said, going back to what I've also done, the kung fu, we done similar movement. It's literally the third technique, and it's good to when karate there's more kicking, and I really felt that my kicks I can practice in my spare time using what you've done today. So for me, this session was really good. So thank you, Shian.
It's okay, no problems. Anyone else want to comment? You might not want to, but I mean, how do you normally do techniques like Gus and okay, no worries, Gus. Take you later. I mean, what people probably normally start doing is, for example, we might start maybe with the intentions of maybe doing the third method where we're kind of cutting back, and then maybe we start to get tired, and then we start to maybe lead into maybe one or two where we're either lagging the technique to try and create power, or we're dropping that and we're trying to get speed in the techniques. And again, it's not a right or a wrong way. Each way has its value, each way has its benefits, each way has its drawbacks, but if you can think about the ways that we deliver techniques, how we kind of gain the speed, the power, the momentum, and the control at the end, you might all be saying, well, yeah, version number 3 is a little bit better in that sense. But if the person's really close and you don't have that kind of distance, then you're probably going to want to whip the hip in to try and get some power through to drop the person. If the person's maybe far away, you're probably going to want to kind of have a really long lunge and like a spear with a quick technique. So they've all got kind of huge benefits and drawbacks. You just need to learn how to kind of equip yourself with all of them methods. But I hope you enjoyed the lesson today. And again, like I said, it was largely based on a conversation we had in a group chat. And the guy was like, yeah, but when you do fighting, you always want to commit the weight going forward. Well, yes, in some ways you do, but we also are martial artists, right? So we do multiple disciplines. We do basics, Kion, standing still. I do Gecko, going back and forward. Then we've got some kata, and then we've got full contact fighting, and also we do non-contact fighting. And I think it's safe to say that one of them versions doesn't fit all of them perfectly. For non-contact, you might be looking at kind of the speed element where we're lunging forward with those techniques. With full contact, yep, 100% you can use them. And then maybe when you're in basics, we're wanting those kind of snappy controlled techniques so that all the time we're going from A to B really quickly. We're maximizing the control and using a lot of body structure and strength to control that technique going beyond the position. Because the last thing we want to be doing is this. We want to be here. And that control comes with a lot of body functions that make up that technique. And this kind of technique will never, ever achieve that. And that's the most important thing to realize, that there are different skill sets, there are different ways to deliver techniques in different circumstances. And as long as you can kind of have a good range on those techniques, I think everybody will be really successful in what they're kind of doing. And for me, it's very, very important to be a karate man, to do karate, to do all elements of karate to the best of our abilities. And that, at least for me, and I believe for Wesley as well, we all love fighting. We all love doing certain elements more. Of course we do, but we chose a martial arts. We didn't just choose to fight. And I think that's very important.